Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
And today we are here with the second and final installment of Your Saints of May. Names,
this year.
Names just can say.
Yep.
Edition.
Which means, for the most part, short names. For the most part, not tremendously exotic names. We're not saying that judgmentally. We are the ones who can't pronounce anything. And no Welsh names.
Yep. And this first one's just a little on the tricky side. So I'm going to go ahead and take it. May 15th, we're going to start it out with Saint Achillas. Died 330, a bishop, and might have been at the Council of Nicaea.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a Saint Andrew, who died in 251, who was a martyr who was stoned to death.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a great way to go, but...
We're not going to talk about the scale right now.
Yep.
I'll take it over big body of water and beast.
On May 15th, continuing our theme from the beginning of the first half of the first video for this month, we've got Saint Bertha, a noblewoman from the Rhine, founded many hospices for the poor. God bless her. Of course he does. She's a saint.
And then we have Saint Nicholas the Mystic, who I could write a lot more about because he was the patriarch of Constantinople. So I'm assuming there's lots more information. But
much is known.
But we know he was a mystic, and his name was Nicholas.
Boom. And he's a saint, so he wasn't one of the heretical patriarchs of Constantinople.
Yes.
At least he repented. But that
there have been.
Probably would have been a mystic then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. May 16th, we have Saint Adam.
Love it.
Not giving us any more information as far as the name goes. He died in 1210, was a hermit and an abbot.
Still on May 16th, we've got Saint Hilary. Died 376, a bishop who fought Arianism.
Ooh, maybe they got to punch a heretic.
Eh? Wasn't just Nicholas.
And then we skip ahead to May 18th because May 17th has no really interesting famous people in it.
All the names are super long.
No, there's
just nobody.
There's like there's not a good saint day that day.
There are these weird lacunas. You'll have like 5 saints on one day and then none on the 2 days that follow. It's like, couldn't we space these out?
So May 18th, who do we got?
We've got Saint Eric the Ninth, or if I was being really silly, the IX.
Eric the Ix. Eric the Ix.
He died in 1160. He was the king of Sweden. He's one of the patrons for Sweden.
Hey! Then, on May 20th, we have another Saint Hilary. Mm-hmm. This one died in the 4th century, just like the previous one. A bishop of Toulouse, France. Nothing else is known about him. But hey, his name is still remembered, and he was a bishop.
On May 21st, we have Saint Valens, a bishop and martyr, might have been bishop of Algiers, France, and was killed along with 3 others.
Oh, no.
So I gotta know, were they in a plane? And was Saint Valens' original first name Ricardo?
Highly unlikely.
Because if Saint Richie Valens died, was martyred along with 3 others,
As far as I know, there is no Saint Big Bopper. He picked an original name on his own and was not named after a French saint no one had heard of.
But his name was Richardson, and there's at least one Saint Richard.
They don't tell us the year, so I mean, it could have been after airline travel, after air flight.
He seems a little young to have been the bishop of Auxerre, France.
I'm also fairly certain that there was not another bishop who was going to be sainted, but he decided to give up his spot to someone else.
Although this is a poverty we have. We don't have a Saint Buddy. We got to work on that.
Yeah.
I mean, later on in the month, they tried insisting there was a Saint Jessica, but it was just Joanna again.
Oh, sorry, Jess.
If there's any kids out there watching, if you ever become bishop, feel free to change your name to Bishop Buddy. That way, maybe, just maybe, you could be Saint Buddy.
Mm-hmm. But
I know it was Neil and not Buzz, but it would be hilarious if the new Pope decided that he was going to be Pope Buzz because he's stepping somewhere no American has done before.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. It'd be amazing.
Plus, he's not from Ohio, so you know.
But since I've been skipped over once, I'm going to take another one.
Good man.
Here on the 21st, Saint Zeno.
Love it.
Born 300, died 371. He was from Africa, became Bishop of Verona, and was known for his missionary work for fighting Arianism, founding a convent, along with his charity work and his writings.
And it should be noted, Arianism must be fought wherever it is found.
Yep.
All right, now we go on to the 22nd with our favorite, bring back this saint name.
This is what you should be naming your kids.
Yep. It's better than Pippin.
Maybe a middle name, you know. So when you're filling out resumes, they can just put a letter instead of the full name. But
it'll keep the grandparents happy.
This is how the name stays down.
But we have Saint Bobo. He died in 985. He was a Crusader knight who became a hermit and died while he was on pilgrimage.
But did he have paint on his face when he did it?
Probably not.
Still on the 22nd, we've got Saint Helen, died 418, a martyr mentioned in the Acts of Saint Amator.
And then we have Saint Julia of Carthage, who died in the 5th century. She's known as a patron of torture victims, disease of the hands and feet, and was a martyr, as you could probably tell by the torture.
And then we get to May 23rd.
Also known as Narwhal Day.
We just have the one.
I do not know if they're sympathetic and wear gray.
We have Saint John Baptiste de Rossi, born February 22nd, 1698, and died May 23rd, 1764. Yeah, that's a pretty specific lineage, life and death there for us.
That's what's great,
But
as
we're
you get
getting
more
into
towards
modern
modernity.
times, so people actually recorded these dates.
Was a priest known for helping the sick, homeless, prostitutes, prisoners, and workers.
What a mensch. Nate, you got skipped, so do you want to do
Yep.
or at least Jess did too.
She did too.
Usually I do 0. It's
May
just crazy.
May 24th, we've got Saint David of Scotland. It's the only David there, just so you know. Whatever anybody else tells you, no, there was just the one.
The only.
Yep.
Are you trying to get angry letters from your aunt and cousin?
I mean, look, come at me. Born approximately 1018, died 1153.
That is an amazing.
Wow. That's.
I'm assuming the circa was very circa
Very
on
circa.
that one.
Very
it's like,
circa.
I mean, that's still a lot of circa, because that is
30.
There's 135 years.
Given his story,
Once again, kids,
maybe they exaggerated for the
proof that living a good and holy life has its benefits.
135 years.
Son of Saint Margaret, and was King of Scotland.
And if I just typoed and the answer was supposed to be 1118, which makes much more sense, just go ahead and tell me, because it's one of those things, I don't math exactly how old everyone was unless it's like really weird numbers.
We appreciate all the work you do.
Nope. I'm sticking with he broke all the records.
Right.
Speaking of a Jessica that turned out to be a Joanna.
Yes. On the 24th, we also have Saint Joanna. She died probably in the 1st century because she was one of the women who discovered the empty tomb on Easter.
Amazing. Yeah, there was Chuza's wife, one of the women who funded the ministry.
She was one of the few people in town not named Mary.
One of the few women in the community not named Mary. And also on May 24th, just to finish things out, we've got St. Vincent of Porto, a martyr of Rome. Dates unknown.
But not St. Vincent de Porres.
No, different one. This one either liked doors or wine from Portugal, with that second one being highly unlikely given how he was a Roman martyr.
Yeah, just St. Vincent of the Doors.
Maybe he was a doorkeeper.
It's a great way to become a saint.
On May 25th, we have Saint Bede the Venerable, also known as the Venerable Bede.
Well, it's not anybody's fault except for his brothers, because they put on his grave the Venerable Bede. So before we had the formal system of servant of God, venerable, blessed, saint, he was always the Venerable Bed.
Yep.
Or, according to some legends, they went to lunch and an angel went and wrote down that he was now forever known as the Venerable Bed.
Yes. It
They're
was
like,
us.
what do we want to say about Bede on this thing? You know what? It's lunchtime, guys.
Let's deliberate. They get back. Huh.
That works.
Apparently, a decision was made.
Born 673, died 735. A monk known for his writings on English in church history.
And this is the Bede who is a doctor of the church.
Yes. This is the Venerable Bede.
Yes.
And we've
Although his
another
English history is a little more squishy than his church history is seen by. He's the only source for a lot of things that we're like, that does not make sense.
No, but again, it's all we got, so we got to figure out from there.
Yeah.
You want this next one?
Sure.
Another name that's worth bringing back, though, is Bede.
Oh, totally. Although you're going to have to call him Venerable. That'd be great. Twin boys.
Not
Bede
so
and
venerable.
Bobo. Bede and Bobo.
Yep.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
All right. We have a blessed of Blessed Manuel Miguel. See, I was all set to do, super Spanishy things. De la Mora. He was born in 1874, died in 1927, and this one was a martyr, so I think he is a New World Spanish.
1937, I would have said Spain, the Spanish Civil War. 1927, probably Mexico, the Cristero War. Yeah. Then, on May 26th, we have another blessed Eva of Liege, friend of Blessed Juliana, who helped work for a feast in honor of the Blessed Sacrament. That is good work.
Which is a very important holiday whose name I can't say in Latin, so I didn't put it down.
Corpus Christi?
Yes.
And then also on May 26th, we have Saint Mariana. Was born 1618, died 1645, is the patron of Ecuador, the Americas, sick people, and a loss of parents.
There's a little more?
From Quito, Ecuador, that was then part of Peru.
Yeah, the 1600s, the whole thing would be like the viceroyalty of Peru.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Then we have Saint Zach, or Saint Zachary, who died in 106. He was a bishop in Gaul who was martyred during Trajan.
Boo, hiss.
All right.
And on May 27th, we have Saint Bruno.
Who we don't talk about. No, just kidding, we do.
Died 1045, a scholar, writer, and bishop in Germany, died in an accident while eating with the Emperor Henry III.
Yes, he was not at all poisoned or murdered in any
No,
way.
he just died during dinner.
I think one of the things that were a chandelier fell on him type thing. It was very much...
A lightning bolt came in the window.
No. He's not going to be a saint if he gets struck by lightning.
You could die naturally of lightning and still be a saint.
But not indoors!
Fair point.
If the lightning has to zigzag through a window...
We are in no way implying that he was poisoned or otherwise done in by the Emperor Henry III.
No, they appear to be friends.
Yeah. He died of natural causes. I'm sure it was very traumatic for the Emperor. But hopefully it drew him closer to the Lord. So, those are the saints with pronounceable names in May.
Which I still mispronounce.
Well, we're totally skilled.
Look, we gotta be consistent. I mean...
Please, comment below about how much you miss Welsh name alerts or other saints in May with pronounceable names that we may have overlooked.
Again, there's a whole bunch of Johns from England that we did not mention.
Platoons and platoons of Johns. Because Bloody Queen Bess was really bloody.
Yeah, and I think every guy was named John back then.
Seriously. Subscribe to our channel. Ring the church bell to be notified the next time a plot is uploaded. And until then...
remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.